Hey, good morning. It's been a little bit. It's been a little bit. I I'm happy to be back. So 7 p.m. but it's good morning to me. It's 8 a.m. for me. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. That's funny though. All right. So I wanted to introduce you to another one of my food demons. For anybody who is unfamiliar, let me go ahead and bring up. Oh, that's not supposed to be that profile. Let's see. Let's open this up. Close that. Close that. Open that. There we go. Now we're good. For anybody who's not familiar, these are the food demons. You can find them on Instagram, and if I click onto Instagram, it won't let me go through much if I'm not logged in. So I'm logged in. So last time, actually, let me open it up because there is another character that we worked on. Hey sis. Um, Last time I worked on a food demon, it was Flapjack. And so we've got Flapjack, and he is posed. And this is what he looks like, all finished and posed. And he's fun and ready to rock and roll. I added in a vest since our last stream with this guy, and I think he's rather fun. Really, really fun. Do I make alien creatures? No, not very often anyway. I have in the past. Just yeah, it's not where I tend to put my focus. I do have this lovely lady that she's a work in progress, very in progress. um, Fill material. All right, and let me turn off the topology here. Yeah, you can kind of see. I mean, she doesn't have like the hollow in her mouth yet. I thought I had that already. I must have not saved. But the whole idea of this is to make it so that she's a production ready mesh. And you can see she's starting to get that, you know, the depth in the mouth and things like that right now. She obviously has a pearl material applied to her. I have this so you can see there's my SMA pearl material. It's just a smart not a smart material, a matte cap. Um, but yeah. Hey, Leonard. So yeah, that's her, and she's fun. And I thought about working on her, but then I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to work on her today. So instead, I was thinking, let's jump into some food demon stuff. And I thought specifically it'd be cool to jump into my daughter's favorite, Sugar. The gang is all here. I guess the gang will be more here when we have people like Quentin and who else? Who else was he? Oh, Prashan. Like who else do we have in that group? So a little bit about. Let me get the texture in here. Actually, I got say load spotlight, not flapjack. We'll go back to character. We'll hit sugar spotlight. Come on, there we go. So there is our lovely sugar. She's looking just fine over there. Okay, so there are a lot of things that I want to be able to go through and tweak and do differently. I mean, currently her mouth shape is very different, so I want to go through and kind of tweak that, make that different. I want to. What else do I want to do? Well, I mean, the hair can use some tweaking, definitely back here. The hair is very much still blocking, so it's just kind of as it is. And then the dress is blocked in, but it's not modeled. So we'll go through and we'll start kind of working on things little by little through here on this stream, and we'll see what we get to. We'll see what we get to. Thanks, Adarsh. Thank you, thank you. So just to be able to show, I guess, well, I mean, this is what it looks like this. Let me take the fade down. So this is what she looks like, kind of, without the color and whatnot. Just to be able to get a little bit better of an idea of what's happening with her geometry. And then let me go ahead and take that back down. And then her body is essentially, it's the body mesh, but I have it flipped inside out. So I was able to go ahead and say display properties. I'll say double for now. This is what she looks like if she's not glass. She's really fun. I really quite like the idea of this character. I'm going to go ahead and turn her to glass just to be able to kind of test things and see what she looks like. Okay. And then if we come up here, we'll go render, redshift render, we'll turn that on and we'll check it out. Okay, let's hit save just because I'm paranoid. And we'll see if we start to get kind of the coffee pot sort of effect. So a little bit about her. She's so Food Demons is this series of little demons that I'd love to turn into a game at some point. It'll take some time because time is not always there for you. Okay, so there we go. Kind of a nice little. It's kind of a funny look. Okay. Skip that note until next restart. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about any kind of textures or making things fancy or pretty right now. I do like some things that are happening in here. I don't like that I'm getting like this dark on dark on dark on dark. So some of the things that I'm going to want to do would include things like, making short here. I'll make sure that that is set the way that I had it so that I can see her more the way that I want to. And I don't know, let's get started on this. Let's see what we can get. Okay, so from the profile, she's looking pretty good. I do want to modify the shape of her silhouette here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to try to hide her arms. These arms too. You can see I literally just kind of cut off the top of her head to make sure that she fits in that she fits together. Okay, but you can see like, hey Papi, how you doing? This depiction seems extreme. I'm not sure I understand. But you're welcome. I don't know. I'm just a guy trying to have fun in the world. So here's what I want to do. Okay, I've got. I mean, you can see kind of like what's happening with the torso. It's like it's rounding off back here. We're getting the round off the front. I do want to get maybe like a little bit more of an indentation here, so that it has like a fall off here, and then trying to figure out exactly what I want to do with the back end here. So I'm gonna have to, let's bring back the arms because we're gonna not, it's not gonna be as easy to work with if I don't have them there. Let's get in here, let's use transpose master. Turn off that material. Actually not skin shade 4, let's use skin shade my Skin Shade 5. Skin Shade 5 is my personal rework of Skin Shade 4. For anybody who's new here, which I've thought about making like a package of my personal resources available on my website for purchase. So if that sounds at all interesting to you, let me know. Okay, let's come in here. Visibility, hide part. Okay, down here, let's kind of work on the shape of this. Kind of give it a little bit more of an arc through here instead of being so flat. And I think that that's definitely working. It's definitely helping quite a bit. Let's kind of give these a little bit more weight. Yeah. By the way, if anybody is interested in knowing what I worked on Overwatch, I can finally talk about it. I can talk about my first skin anyway. I can't talk about everything else that I've done so far. But I did, and I put it up on ArtStation too. I have the. Let's come over here. We'll get into. I thought it was going to have my ArtStation link on there. Let's jump down, and you know what? Let's just. This will be easier. ArtStation. You know, it's kind of funny. Papi Quadwo. My brother uses Quadwo in his, I don't know how that's pronounced, but they use that in their, he uses that in his usernames and things like that. So yeah, this is what I did for the K-pop release. There's a link to be able to share with you guys. It was really exciting. It was really fun. It's been great to see the response. You know, the way that people have really just just loved seeing Junkrat in this light. So it's fun. It's fun. It's been a really good time. So yeah, I just wanted to be able to share that with you guys real quick. It's a good time. That's interesting. I mean, it would make sense that you'd have to have a login to comment, but yeah, that's interesting, Leonard. Is it like that with everybody, or is it like that with just like select people? Because I know that I can't, you know, I can't like. Oh, so you do have a login, you just don't have a portfolio on the site. Well, you should fix that. I know it's hard to try to maintain multiple sites and presences and things like that. So I get it. I get it. Turn off spotlight projection. Okay, I'm trying to get a good feel for what it is that I have going on around her body and things like that. Haven't had a portfolio in over 20 years. Oh boy. It's funny because like I feel fortunate in the last little while that I haven't had to go through and super update my portfolio. I'm always working on stuff, but yeah, it's definitely been kind of nice to not have to to not have to have um, to update it, I guess. Um, Never had one for art things anyway. For cakes, most definitely. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and call that good for now. We should start to see things. What? Yeah, everything that it skips should be just fine. This, on the other hand, curious why this won't let me down res. It's really bizarre to me. Here, I'm going to go ahead. Let's version this up. Let's save as. We'll go back into the character. We'll go into Sugar, and we'll go and we'll say version 2. Okay. Let's get this working now. Okay, this doesn't have to sag here, but it does have to go down a little bit over here. It does have to go down right there. Okay. It's interesting that that's all super metally. You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. Let's go ahead and bring everything back. You can see like the coffee side of it is somehow penetrating through. Oh, I guess let's leave that the way that is. Let's take the face itself and we'll kind of tweak this area just a little bit. Try to see what we can get out of it. This little area is going to be a little tricky because there will be some penetration until I'm until I can clean it up. And I think that like cleaning it up earlier rather than later is a good idea. This got here. Let me. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and undo until I get to that cleaner before I started smoothing it. Because the smoothing it definitely ruined that line, that nice crisp line going through there, which is something that I want to keep for this character. Oh, you know it'd be funny You know, it'd be really, really funny. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I need to do that. Where did you buy your LED tea candles at? Um, so so for this, I think something that'd be a really hilarious thing, and maybe it's not quite the right. I don't know, because like I like how dainty and pretty she is, but maybe she has like a rage attack where she where she has like the bags under her eyes and she's like, I need caffeine, and so like maybe you see like her life force being drained from her as she's playing. And it's like as the coffee is like draining from her face, you see like her eyes start to go like kind of crazed, and how that's really funny. I like that idea a lot. Um, that's really funny. Oh, nice. Hola, Manuel. ¿Cómo está el loco? Eh. Che, pibe. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nitaraj, if I wanted to become a cartoon artist for animated films for Pixar, what do I need to know? Could you give me some advice on what to focus on? It depends on what you want to do. Cartoon is very broad. um, so what I would recommend doing is figure out what it is you want to be able to do. And so, for instance, with Pixar, getting a job at Pixar. Gracias, hermano. Gracias, 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 gracias. Um, yeah, I learned Spanish in Chile, so Argentina is very, very close and near and dear to my heart. Um, let's go over here. Material, color, fill object, just so that we can see what we're working on. Good night. Okay, there's still a little bit of penetration there, but I think I can fix that by fixing the coffee side. Um, Let me see. But being able to get a job at Pixar is one of those things. Pixar is insanely competitive, first off. So understanding that and keeping that in mind is paramount. Um, I mean, I fortunately don't have to worry about getting a job at Pixar right now because I like my job and I'm doing well and things like that. Um, Something to know that's extremely important is that the entire Disney company is under a hiring freeze. So getting a job there, period, is going to be extremely difficult. Um, but if you want to get a job at a place like Pixar, or if you want your portfolio to be something in the neighborhood of what Pixar looks like, then I would just recommend practicing things. So something that you could practice, something that you could use as like a test subject is on Instagram or other social media platforms. There's the Draw This in Your Style challenge, and I think that like one of the coolest things that you can do um, is do emulation. So like you're not copying somebody's work, but you are looking at what's making their style work. So if you're looking at Pixar specifically, um, you're looking at kind of what is it that makes their characters appealing. If you're looking at their environments, you're like, how are they trying to tell story through what they're showing, and how are they trying to lean on things like archetypes and stereotypes to be able to really get an idea across quickly, right? So yeah, I recommend going through thinking about like a draw this in your style challenge that you like, and then trying to do that draw this in your style challenge in the Pixar style. You can look at all sorts of different um, what's it called? All sorts of different films. Try to find a stylistic direction that you like. A big thing that I feel like makes something um, look like a Pixar film are the eyes. Um, so yeah, that's something that I would try to look at and study and focus on, because like getting those eyes to feel right, that'll be a heavy step in the right direction. Um, oh, I see. Oh, shoot. So now I gotta see how badly I messed things up by. Oh gosh, that's why. Body, lips. Okay, so here's what we're going to have to do. I'm going to have to. I'm going to take the lips. Let's bring it all the way up in subdivisions. We'll say geometry, delete lower, display property, not display properties, modify topology, delete hidden. We'll reconstruct subdivisions so that we have them, and we'll kind of keep this as like a marker for shape that we want to push for. But I want to get this so that I have this mesh worked out to be the right shape, because the eyes are the way that they're supposed to be. I don't know. There are a lot of things that have already been worked out. They just need to be implemented on the proper mesh. Um, let's do this. Ah, that's irritating. I hate going through and doing the work more than once, but I guess it's just part of life. You mess something up, you go back and redo it. Kind of. I want to make sure that these lips are nice and full. I'm not entirely sure that I'm liking that specific shape there, so I'm going to try to work out a different idea here. As you do, right? You know? No. Okay. I'm liking that. So I'll go down here. I'm going to grab the lips. I'm going to say delete. Okay. the teeth are not holding the material that I want. So this is because it has a texture applied. So you see texture map. So I just need to go fill and fill material, and now we're good. So now it feels a little bit more correct. Yeah, she does have kind of like a fish-like sort of look. It's kind of fun. I like fishy lips. They're fun. They're fun to play with. I like making graphic shapes with my characters, and the lips I feel like are a really good opportunity for that sort of thing. I don't want this to be so. I mean, it kind of evens itself out as it. Yeah, but this is really bothersome. Let me see if I can get this to be a little bit more in line. It's a little bit strong here. Let's go back, kind of tone that down. That's better. Okay, so that has a much nicer swoop to it now, instead of having a weird bump. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Oh my gosh, I'm not doing a good job at even just navigating today. Okay. Cool. Okay, she's looking much, much better now. Gracias, Emerson. How much do you work with a mouse and ZBrush? Oh my goodness. I don't. I mean, I will if I'm needing to go through and make specific selections. So, like for instance, if I'm using the deformation, I'll come in here and I can click on the word and I can say, okay, one, or like 100 or something like that, and you can see, like I'm getting my. That's really creepy. But it's really kind of interesting. Ooh, interesting. I didn't know that I could do that. I guess that's what happens when you actually play with things. Oh, but that is so funny. I better hit save before I like totally ruin something. But yeah, I don't use a mouse for really much of anything. My buddy Rakan uses the mouse for everything, so it's just kind of funny. All right, let me see. So here's what I want to do. I want to start kind of taking the dress, making that more of a dress. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Let's grab. I think they should be right next to each other in the list right here. They are not. Okay, so I'm gonna grab. I'm gonna keep the collar separate because that just makes sense to me. Um, but I do want to make the dress and the sleeves a single thing. I don't know that I'll keep the sleeves as, this piece of geometry here, but I definitely want to kind of extrude out and make a nice puffy sleeve for this character. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's kind of smooth that out a little bit. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to grab our Z modeler brush. Let's go over here to an edge. We'll say close. It doesn't matter what kind of close we use. Not for this instance anyway. I'm going to grab that and I'm just going to take my brush and or my gizmo, sorry, and I'm going to control click and drag so that I can cover kind of the opening of where this sleeve is going to. I'm just trying to go ahead and line this up. It's going to be roughly the thickness or the size of that. Here, let me turn on local symmetry. Okay. Roughly the size of the arm. Okay. Kind of pull that out some. Pull that up. Kind of like flatten this out some so we get a nicer silhouette for the end of that sleeve. Kind of tweak that here, should be all right. Okay, so that's enough for like the base of the sleeve. I don't need the tip of this anymore. It's not necessary, so let's go ahead and get rid of that. I technically have delete hidden over here, but that's such a long way to reach. I use that button so much that I pulled it out so that I could get to it more easily. I still go through my menus. Like even like with my job and everything, it's really funny. I'm gonna say insert multiple edge loops. We'll say keep polygroup. You know what? I'm gonna keep it kind of simple for now. Say mask edge loop partial, and we'll just mask these out. Invert. Come down to deformation. We'll say inflate. I'm gonna like overinflate them, and we're gonna hit polish. Okay, bring everything back, and so now what we want to do is we want to start trying to make things feel like they fit a little bit better. So here's what I'm going to do. Just going to get, that's maybe a little bit too intense with the smooth. I'm just trying to go over this lightly so that I can get more of the shape that I want. I can kind of redirect points, just move things around. But this is where I'm starting to try to get the full silhouette of my shape in here. The other thing I want to do is I want to add in another edge loop right here and another one over here. Insert single edge loop. We'll get one boop, get one boop. So now we can come over here and we can say mask edge loop partial, and we'll just grab that, invert. And then, yeah, we'll hit inflate a little bit. Obviously, it's more right to have the inflate on the top than on the bottom. The bottom feels like that's definitely creating weird angles that we don't want. So we're going to get rid of those as much as we can. And we're just going to come over here. We're going to say subtool, delete. I guess technically we could have kept it and just hidden it, but oh well, it's gone now. I can bring it back sometime if I wanted to, but not by hitting undo. Okay, I'm going to take this and kind of clean up the flow here, because I feel like that'll help the character to feel a little bit cleaner, a little bit more appealing. Just started trying to learn ZModeler. Can you point me to some great resources? Um, One of the best resources is always Michael Pavlovich, and I mean I use it a ton here too. So I mean if you follow me on this, if you watch what I do here, you'll probably pick up on some things. Um, it's not the easiest tool to work with, mostly because it just seems intimidating. I personally really like it, um, and use it for many things. Anytime I'm trying to work with topology, anytime I'm trying to work with, um, yeah, just getting things ready for for a pipeline. I mean, it's a really fun and flexible tool. Gonna get a little bit more cozied out here. There we go. So now with the dress, I mean, I have a couple of things that I could do to, oh, that's kind of messy. I have a couple of things that I could do to give it apparent thickness or real thickness. I'm just going to go ahead and give it kind of a faked temporary thickness for now. The way we do that is by coming over here to geometry. We'll say dynamic subdiv. We'll turn that on, turn off the smooth, turn up thickness. I'll make sure that the offset is in the -100, because what this is doing is this is essentially saying keep the mesh where it is and then extrude inward, you know, in the negative direction. So now I can go ahead and I can kind of just give it some thickness. And so now this is kind of what we're left with. So now we're looking at the character from below, and we're getting that sort of thick dress sort of look. Eventually, she'll have you know, those things will be closed off. I'm still not 100% certain what I want to do with the ends of her sleeves. I might do some sort of extra little. In fact, let's do that. Let's do that because I think this is a good idea. I'm going to say ZModeler, same thing. I'm going to say close. And I'm just going to grab this poly group, make sure I can see things, and I'm just going to kind of pull this out a little bit. It's going to flatten it out so that it's nice and straight. It's going to center it on that arm just a little bit better. Now, my first main goal with this particular character, with any of these Food Demon characters, is to 3D print them. So having this be watertight, closing this off, having actual thickness, having real solidity to it, that's what's really going to make this this work for this project as I intend it at this moment. Make it look so easy, but it ain't. It's fairly easy. It's just a matter of getting used to the rhythms of how it works. But yeah, it's yeah, I guess it's just playing. But yeah, I love ZModeler. I love it. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, this collar, I want this to have thickness as well. But what I'm going to do, same thing, take that off, turn on thickness, just so that we get like a real collar in there. 0.005, something like that. And it's looking not too shabby, right? Not too shabby at all. Same thing here, dynamic, turn off smoothness, turn on thickness. And she's looking pretty cool. Okay, so we're starting to get a lot further along in the clothing. There's still a lot to do, But it's definitely a lot further along. I do want to get the hair further along while we're here. There are some things that I really like about what I have going on in the hair at the moment, but I also really want to change it because I also like some things that are happening with the hair here. While I am hair, I'm going to try to grab my iPad because that's where I have all of my sketches and drawovers and things like that. And I want to try to take a look at what my latest draw over for this character is. I don't remember if I have it or not. Yeah, really bad pun. Do you have a link for the gentleman? Oh, Michael Pavlovich. I mean, he's online. Let me grab internet over here. If we go over here into the ZBrush Live stuff, we can come over here to presenters. I'll drop a link in the chat here in a minute. But oh hey, look, I know him. In fact, he might be in this series of images here. I don't see him though. I see a whole bunch of other people, but I don't see Michael Pavlovich. Oh, there he is, right there. This is Michael. But yeah, he's amazing. This guy right here. So let's see, we'll click on that. And control copy, control paste. That is le Monsieur Michael Pavlovich. I lift and jog so I can make really bad dinner decisions. That's funny. But yeah, so does some cool stuff. He's got a ton of I mean, his the artwork that he has up here isn't necessarily like indicative of the most amazing stuff that he can do, but he definitely showcases some really, really intense, very cool techniques for getting really nice, yeah, just getting really, really nice results you know, out of really simple things. So, but yeah, Michael Pavlovich got lots of really, really cool stuff. So he does use a lot of like Z modeler and things like that, and it's yeah, he's handy. He's a really good one. He is really, really fast. He's really, really fast. His YouTube channel is probably going to be the best to kind of look at. So you click on his YouTube, takes you over into his channel, and you can see like a ton of different things that he does to be able to experiment, to be able to just do little like what's new sort of videos, like just lots of fun stuff. So yeah, Michael Pavlovich. Kind of drop it off right there, because next time I hit my internet button, it'll pop it up and it'll bring up the set of websites again anyway, so it'll be fine. um, all right, so we've got a little bit of that going on. We got a little bit of that going on. I do want to make sure that this has a waistband, so I'm just gonna go ahead and steal from here. It just makes things a little bit easier. You know what? Let's go ahead and do this, because I like the idea of, oh, it doesn't go all the way around. That's nice. Okay, we'll fix that, because this should be easy enough to go through and remedy. So delete hidden. I'm going to take my dynamic subdivision stuff, and let's make sure that this is not set to -100 anymore. Just put that up so that that's kind of going outward. And then I want to make sure that we are getting rid of, let's go ahead and Didn't get that. Modify topology, delete hidden. I'm going to turn off the thickness for now. So there are a lot of different tools that you can use with ZModeler. And everything works off of components. So, you know, you have faces, you have edges, and you have points. And you can see like the white text, it changes depending on what component I'm hovering over, right? So with this, I want to use the stitching. So I'm going to hold spacebar. I selected stitch, 2 points to endpoint or midpoint. I'm going to select midpoint. Okay, so I'm just going to select, and there we go. Real nice and easy. So it's like it's complex, but it's not super complicated. It's a really nice tool. This particular piece, I probably don't need so many. Let's say insert single edge loop here. Let's get rid of that one. I'm going to try to make sure that this feels a little bit more consistent in its width, thickness, you know. It's nice that it has a couple different polygroups here because it makes it really easy to deal with. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take ZModeler and I'm going to get rid of every other loop going along. I'll have to figure out what I do with that one because that's a little bit too... Let's do something like this. We'll get rid of these two. Get rid of that. We'll put one in here. We'll get rid of these two. So yeah, just playing. I can take this, I can say slide points, so that way it keeps the same, like it stays sliding along the edge that it's attached to. So that's real nice. I really like that. I like that a lot. I love all these ZBrush videos. Yeah, they're really good. Yeah, 3ds Max is one that I never particularly liked, but a lot of legacy users are super into it even now. It is what it is. Oops. ZModeler. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to make this appear to be kind of coming in toward the center, so like I can make like a knot, and then oops, did not want that. Did not want that. Sorry, puns are kind of in my nature. So if you're not here for the puns, what are you even here for, right? Can't be to look at this face, you know. Ah, shoot, come on. There we go. I'm going to hit save before I ruin something again. One of the tricky things, though, to watch out for with ZModeler is that things will vert weld when you don't want them to. So, a fantastic personality. Yes. What's this one right here? Okay, I see. So with this, I don't know that I really particularly want... I think I'll just kind of have it be fakety faked. Say delete hidden. I think I'm totally fine with it just coming up and dying under the collar. I think that that's going to be a better move for me. Say color fill object. Let me see, what time is it? It's almost 9 o'clock. I'm already feeling kind of burned out. Um, and my wife has a thing that I'm wanting to take her to um, later on this morning, so I will probably make today a little bit shorter. But I am a little bit more back than I had been, so that's it's nice. We'll be around a little bit more. Um, Traditionally, lately, I'd been streaming on Saturday mornings. Uh, if you're like Leonard, you use it to get your dosage of Saturday morning cartoons. um, but I am. So I traditionally been on Saturday mornings. I lately have had a lot of Saturday commitments. Um, so I've tried to be present for those. Um, like for instance, like the ZBrush Summit, Lightbox, BlizzCon, all sorts of things. It's been a really crazy couple of months, guys. It's like, but we're definitely much more here now. So, kind of trying to start to get back into the swing of things, trying to recover from the burnout of everything I tried to squeeze into a 2 month period. I was going to look at my iPad to see what drawovers I had. Food demons. Get into sugar. Okay, it looks like my drawovers mostly have to do with, and maybe I can like hold this up to the camera so you guys can see too, but ornaments are just right around the corner. Yeah, I probably won't do ornaments. I, I'm like, I'm like so not. So like here's kind of like some of my draw over stuff, and you can see that most of it's just like hair, trying to get like shapes kind of going in there with the ponytail. Um, Currently, the pieces are not thick enough, so you can see like it's really like I tried to thicken up the shape. I tried to emphasize the idea of a little bit more up and forward, like up and forward, like with this piece right here. Yeah. Here's kind of like a sketch to be able to figure out like side and front views. Um, there's a battle pose. Just kind of fun. So yeah, I mean I've got a ton of stuff in here. Got to go through and work on Mystery Meat a little bit more at some point. He's a fun one, but he's yeah I've got some stuff that I need to sort out with him. It'll be fun. Then I wanna go through and do Muffin Top at some point too. She's fun. Juice Box. He's got the Rasta man. There's Elote, Luchador. You know, just really just having fun with stuff and trying to push the ideas of a whole bunch of different things in here. Got Beefcake over here too, and it'd be just funny to have him with like layers of frosting. Make his hair out of frosting or fondant, or make his jacket out of fondant or something. I don't know. Like just trying to figure out different things to do with it. It's just kind of funny. Salt and pepper. Salt and pepper are great. I love these two. Really great duo. I need to go through and pose them together sometime. I do have them made in 3D, so that's kind of fun. But yeah, lots of crazy things. This is the original. This is Sweet Tooth, and we made him a couple of years ago during a ZBrush live. During a ZBrush live. So lots of fun. Lots of fun. Set that down. All right. And then you guys are gonna go back to your corner. Okay. Feels like it's turning kind of a weird way. Might have to grab a losange. Anytime I start talking a whole lot, like I have to clear my throat a lot, and it's not fun. So I suck on these Ricola a lot. Okay. So one of the things that I'm looking at is like I feel like the shape of her face could be a little bit different. Whereas like I feel like it's coming out too wide. Um so I'm gonna try to play with this a little bit. Hey Hoku, how you doing? Soften once, soften twice, soften thrice. I feel like there's too much sag on her. She feels like she's a little bit too old. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab this, kind of pull it up some, make her feel a little bit more youthful. And of course, I got to fix the coffee on the inside, but that's easy. Easy peasy peasy. Okay, so let's grab this. Same thing like we had before. I'm going to say Control Shift D. Let's grab the lips. We'll say Geometry, delete lower. We'll say delete hidden. So that way we have those lips just on there. The colors look interesting. Yeah, the colors are fun. I'm just going to kind of modify the lips slightly so that they are a little bit outside where the regular lips were. And then for this piece, let's go ahead and we'll flip it back inside out so that way we can see her more the way that she's intended to be. Something Roberto, si quieres hablar así en este canal, te voy a echar. Yo no sé a quién hablas, pero es feo eso. All right. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I'm pretty easygoing, but people are gonna be rude. I don't have to tolerate it. What is this? Oh, it's just part of the. It's just part of the eye. Here, let's go ahead and get rid of that. Okay, that's cool. What did I do to make the model transparent? So literally, I mean, it's not transparent. It's just that there's this principle in 3D called surface normals, and each face has an actual direction to it. There's a front and there's a back. And essentially, what I did is I took. Yeah, let's get back over into the body. So I took this mesh, and you can see like this is how it's supposed to look, right? But I said, outside, I want that to be inside. And so by hitting flip, it's going through and it's saying, okay, I see, I got you, I got you. So this is now inside out. And so what we're seeing is the inside of the mesh. And so because of that, now I can see essentially what's happening inside of the character. And so it gives me kind of this faked transparency. I can't remember who I learned it from. Um, there was a guy who did a really really cool. Um, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can find it because this will be a fun one to kind of show off. Let's go into my collections. Let's see, anatomy, character design. Scroll down. I'll post the link for you too here in a minute because this is a fun design. I think I've seen maybe a couple of different times where it was used. Um, I'm just trying to make sure that I keep in mind what it is that I'm looking for, otherwise I'll lose it entirely too easily. Get distracted by one thing or another. Oh, I love her work. Not her work, his work. Sorry. I mixed up artists for a second there. That's funny. But yeah, Doc Zenith is, yeah, he's tremendous. I swear we're getting closer. I mean, it's this sort of idea being able to get that sort of effect, but it's like I'm trying to remember who even did it. I'm trying to keep the idea of the character in my head. I'm struggling while I'm looking at all these things. It's like too many pictures, too many things, and I'm going to forget. Oh, here we go. This is one. Okay, so you can see the like this. I mean, this is definitely a render, but if we scroll down here, you can see the that ethereal stuff. It's the same trick. They went through and they took it and they inverted the normals. So essentially, what you're seeing is the inside of the mesh, whereas typically you'd be seeing the outside of the mesh. So really cool, simple effect, and it gets you exactly what you need. Um, hey Prashant, how you doing? Yeah, it's a really neat trick, really simple. For this though, this is something that was probably rendered in Marmoset or something. Yeah, Marmoset tool bag. So, I mean, this is something that they would have been able to use a real material that reacted to light and did things properly. Um, I knew I had it in here. I knew I had it in here. Here, let's go ahead and I'll copy that link because I said I would. Um, but yeah, it's a fun character. I actually haven't seen anything else from this person in a while, so I don't know. Yeah, they got a few. They got a few fun ones. I like the feathers on this bird. This is really kind of fun getting the graphic shape in there. That's nice. I like it. Okay, let's go ahead and control W, control W, control W, W, W. Then we'll minimize it. Use it for something else, or is it for presentation purposes? So it's more with for the idea of being able to get just a simple visualization. Um, 'Cause I mean, for instance, right now, I mean, it just gives me the opportunity to see what the glass looks like versus the coffee. Um, but yeah, yeah, inverted normals. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can see where I went through very quickly and just like got rid of pieces and sliced things off, and obviously I didn't care too much to make the mouth super clean, but it's enough. This little bit here though is penetrating through, so we're gonna have to fix that. Let's play with the um, let's play with the hair some. It's like I was saying, I think I want to take this and make it so that it feels certainly more shapely. I want this to feel a little bit more up. And granted, this hair is still um, block-in sort of hair. I'm not entirely certain how I want to handle the hair. So I think that this is something that I'll still have to go through and sketch out and work with. But um, but I think getting a better block out will give me better ideas for how I want to handle the hair in general. There we go. So I like having that a little bit thicker. Yeah, let me see. I gotta open up my draw over, make sure I'm checking it from different angles. Let's get this to kind of come out a little bit further. At some point, I will very possibly go through and make these, I don't know, I might make these sugar cubes more like beads. Are you planning on using this for animation or just 3D printing? For now, for 3D printing, I'm still having to go through and kind of figure out some things. Like I'll have to get some clear resin so that I can go ahead and print her body parts out. Um, and then she'll be nice and hollow, but then I'll fill her with some sort of coffee tinted epoxy resin, um, to make sure that she looks the way that I want her to. Um, Yeah, she's going to be a pretty challenging character, and I'm not sure because, like, for instance, here I've got pumpkin spice within reach. I think I took Sushiyama to work. Oh no, my resin's cracking. That is so not fun. Let me see. Do I have? I think I have. Yeah, there we go. So here is pumpkin spice. Okay. So I mean, this is life scale. This is how big I would want them to be in real life. And once they're produced, I'd want them to be about this big. They're not huge. They're just fun. They're not supposed to take up a ton of space, but they are supposed to be something that you can put kind of anywhere on your desk that you wanted to. Um, Fun little companions and whatnot. Um, but with Sugar, she's got this tremendous amount of. Uh, she's very different. She's a lot harder to actually think through than the other ones because she's transparent, and that's a tricky problem to solve. Um, so yeah, it'll be a fun one. It'll be a fun one. But yeah, I mean, I have the idea of like printing her out in clear resin and then filling her with something that's a little bit more opaque, coffee colored, and that should do most of it. I'm not sure if making her that scale would be as easy to do. That was marshmallow, not sugar cubes. That's fair. Yeah. So the idea is for them to be sugar cubes. It goes along with that theme of like the coffee a little bit better. Um, one lump or two. Um, but yeah, so I'm thinking I might do her. I mean, I might still try to print her at that sort of scale. Um, and then try to figure out getting it filled in and whatnot. It might be just good as a test. Here, I'll go ahead and I'll switch to the to ZBrush Live again. Um, but it'd be hard. Um, yeah, you also do have the exothermic reaction. So yeah, there are a lot of different considerations. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's tricky. It is tricky. I think that the clear resin. I think they do have a clear resin that is kind of built to handle heat. But I've got to go through and double check on that. Um, yeah, I don't want to mold. No, avoiding that at all costs. Um, but I guess if it does come down to that, um, I could in theory do it the opposite way. So yeah, I mean, I could go through and I could create a mold of the body part, create a print of the coffee part, and then do like a suspended cast. Um, and that in theory could work. But yeah, I mean, that would definitely be a trip, and I would definitely not want to do it, like this scale. I would want to do that maybe more like this scale. It is really really small, but yeah. So she's gonna be she's gonna be small. um, I was just showing off pumpkin spice, and she's not very big. You can see like she's she fits in my palm. She's tiny little gal. But I do also have. In fact, let me grab Sweet Tooth because he's kind of a fun one. Be right back. Mute. I'll mute. Well, here I'll just mute. I have a few I have a few display pieces that I want to create. One of them that I've created so far is Sweet Tooth. He was the first one. Okay, so I mean he's a lot of fun, and he turned out pretty nicely. I'm pretty happy with him. The camera's not doing it justice right now, but that's fine. And there are little things that I would like to do differently or be able to fix or change. Um, but he was a quick job, just so that I had something cool to show at Lightbox. I would like to do things like change this heart to look more like a Jolly Rancher clear, things like that. But yeah, I mean, you think about like the scale. Like this is pretty large. It's a lot bigger than than the character would be in real life. And then this is more about the scale that this guy would be if he were, I'll say, real. So yeah, I mean the intent is to make my little food demons available as little desktop toys. Um, that are in that smaller scale. But then I also want to have those mass produced and things like that. Um, yeah, the idea I would love to have like little LED in there to be able to kind of make the eyes glow the way that they're supposed to, and it's yeah. Let's jump back into this because yeah, I mean it's fun. I could talk about this stuff all day. It's a blast, and I have enjoyed it so much. But I've definitely put these guys off for a while. Let's pop that over there so that he's out of the way. But yeah, fun stuff. Fun stuff. So here, let me see. I'm trying to think with the hair. I think that the hair might be a little bit too. It might be a little bit too literal. I'm going to try playing with something real quick. I'm going to say Control Shift D. Oh no! Dang it. Load UI. That's better. Okay. So let me see. What was I doing? Subtool. I have no idea even how I. Oh, because I had gone over here. I don't remember why I had even hit that. It's weird. Um. Okay. So we got this in here. I want to see. And granted, this is all just block in like everything else, right? I want to see if making this smaller. Here, I'm just gonna kind of smooth it out. But yeah, this particular character is one that I would love to go through and work out in with the clear resins and with the with the cool special effects and everything. I don't mind that. That's actually not bad. And I like that it kind of clears out the silhouette a little bit more so that it's not so dark behind the eyes. Um, yeah, it gives me a little bit better access to the silhouette of the eyes. So I kind of like this. Um, the morning was fun. Apparently there's someone that streams their own bot Saturday morning cartoons. It was fun to hang out and watch. That's funny. How does someone start doing 3D figures for mass production? I am trying to figure that out. um, that would be the process of looking for a company or factory to make molds or mass produce your sculpts. Yeah. So the process for that, as I understand it, the way that I'm intending to do it anyway, is looking through the Alibaba marketplace. There are a lot of really really good makers, manufacturers there from all over the place. You know, China and Indonesia, and really really high end, cool stuff that they do. So that's kind of where I'm intending to go to be able to have these sorts of things done. Um, and once I do, I would definitely be like pushing it on my website, pushing it on my Instagram, pushing it on my streams, pushing it, just like pushing heavy. Um, and then I would probably start with like a couple of different little ones. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm. That's kind of part of the reason I haven't done it yet, because I really want to make sure that I find um that I find what's right. I I hate the idea of being ripped off, especially on something that I've spent so much time on and something that I feel like I've put so much of my creative energy into, and that would just make for a very, very miserable experience. And there's very little that you can do about it too. So it's yeah, like somebody rips you off from overseas, it's like, well, there are different sets of laws and different sets of everything else. It's like, well, you gave it to them. I don't know. I don't know how those things are handled. She's looking much better than she did at the very beginning when we started. So this is nice. Let me see. I want to kind of block in this idea of like the loopies going around the base of the skirt here. Um, let's grab the IMM primitives. We'll make a little. Oh, you know what? I guess we technically already have a little bit of a scallop. Here, let's kind of pull this off. Oh, you know what? We'll do this, and then we'll say invert, geometry, delete hidden, invert mask, mask that. So now we've got this piece here that's its own thing. I want to get rid of those. We'll say delete hidden. Then we'll grab this and we'll say deformation. We'll say polish by groups. I didn't even think about that. Let's come over here. Let's say ZModeler. I'm going to say crease edge, just so that we have that done there, and then we can say polish by groups, or polish, or let's see. Here, we'll do this. Control it manually because it doesn't want to control any other way. Tsushiyama. Tsushiyama is fun, and I really want to get him mass produced because he is fun. I really super enjoy the way that he turned out. I think he's great. I'm glad you like him though. That's fun. Let's turn off symmetry. Bring this over. You know what? Let's do this instead. I'm going to say Control Shift, and then we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll say 5 just for the sake of having enough. And then we'll just use the bend curve to get this so that it's up in the right direction. Ta-da! See, 3D is easy. See, that works nicely. I like how that feels. That's looking so much nicer. Grab this one, use the twist, kind of pull it down some. I'll use a little bit of twist in here too. It's like I'm here and I'm like, I just duplicated around. It's like, no, come on, we got a smarter way for doing that. Okay, so now we can just go over here. I'm actually going to do it this way. It's going to kind of bring it over so that it kind of matches, and then we're just going to mirror it over. You can see like this one here in the middle is a little bit boogered up. So let's see, we're going to do a couple different things here. Let's kind of take this, move it over, take this, move it over. Just kind of doing a little bit of a dance here. Did that actually give me a different polygroup? It's like, show me the polygroups. Let me see, let's do this. I'm going to make this nice and big. Move that over. Let's kind of take this, kind of move it around a little bit. I just want to kind of cozy things out just a little bit so that it's, so that each little scallop has its space. Okay, she instantly feels so much more complex now. when looking at contracts for companies, do people recommend getting lawyers to read those things? I think that's probably a good idea. Um, I wish I could make a sphere in 3D that easily. What is the position called? A person that makes objects in 3D. Yeah, it's a 3D modeler. 3D modeler. That be me. Yeah, I mean, the hope, I think, would be to make these things as like little desktop collectibles so that, you know, anybody could just have a fun, nice, inexpensive version, and then possibly at some point have larger versions like the sweet tooth that I showed you a second ago. Where it's all decked out with lights and have that be a more expensive version, I guess. Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm going to leave her for today. I think I will probably go ahead and I'm going to kind of R&D some ideas that I have for the hair, because I do have some interesting ideas. I just need to kind of work it out. Um, and then yeah, hopefully next week I should be able to go ahead and or I guess next week, next time. I'm not sure what the next time is. Let me check and see what the schedule is. Um, let's get in here. We'll say. Actually, I think that the schedule hasn't been fully updated. I'm not scheduled to go live next week, which is fine, but I'm pretty sure I scheduled for the 25th. So we'll see. We'll see kind of what ends up happening. And then, you know, December calendar isn't up yet, so um, yeah, I guess we'll kind of play it by ear. Let me see. I think I need to get this updated because I'm no longer a 3D concept modeler at Imagineering. I'm now a character supervisor on Overwatch, so a little bit different. Everything seems like it's kind of out of date at the moment. Some older streams. I've gone through and I've worked on like so many things that have just been like, oh, look at this new side project, and I don't finish it. And then it's like, oh, look at this new side project, and I don't finish it. But yeah, this is kind of a fun one. I've got a lot of fun little things on here. My ornament from last year. um, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in here that I think needs to be updated, but I'll see about getting it updated at some point. So yeah, um, later on this morning at 10:30, so like in another 45 minutes or so, Rodolfo will be getting on. So if you speak Portuguese, he's your man. Um, yeah, he's really nice. I got to meet him at the ZBrush Summit. So yeah, feel free to go ahead, hang out, and get ready to see some cool ZBrushing on his end. Um, yes, that is the week of Thanksgiving. So you know it might happen, might not happen, regardless of whether or not it's scheduled. The unfinished side projects are for retirement. Yeah, I'm just setting myself up for retirement, I guess. Like, what am I gonna do today? I don't know. Let's look through the unfinished project folder. Okay. I only talk to lawyer when the job exceeds 10K. Interesting. That's good to know. That's really valuable information there. Um, Job of the 3D modelers to model anything in 3D, or is it just objects, vehicles, and such? Do 3D modelers do characters? Yeah, so a 3D modeler is anybody who models things in 3D. So that could be anything from a character to a building to a plant to a prop to a vehicle, whatever it is, rocks. Um, but like for instance, my job on Overwatch is as a character supervisor, and me and my team we only deal with characters. We don't do well, we do props, I guess. We do the weapons, but we don't do environments. We don't do environment props. We do the character props. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun stuff. But then there will also be other people who do other aspects of the pipeline. So it's kind of interesting. Oh, nice, Oku. I'm glad. I'm glad I was helpful. You ever see Lionheart cosplay from the 2018 BlizzCon? That sounds pretty cool. I'll have to check that out. Let me see. Is it in here somewhere? Is this you? No, that's not a cosplay. That's like a. Is it? Maybe it is. It's kind of hard to see. The picture's really blurry. It's hard to see, but it's like, dude. I assume this is you, right? 8 feet tall. Wow. That must have been terribly difficult to move around in. That's crazy. That is crazy. I was gonna say, where's the hammer? There it is. It's like, how did your hand reach all the way down there? It's like, nope, it's somebody else's hand. Yeah, I am still teaching at Gnomon. In fact, I was there last night. Oh, I want to show you guys real quick before I tune out. Uh, the thing that I worked on last night, just part of my demo here. Let me make sure that this is saved. Let's say load tool. Do, do, do. Got Neo Tokyo 10G. G for Gnomon. So yeah, this is what I did last night. It's just like just a little. It's not anything super complex. It's just a vest with a collar, and I mean I have other things that I would like to play around with. Like so, for instance, I got. Let's get rid of that. Actually, let's turn those off. And so like I made this funky crop top. You know, I saw it on one of my references, and I was like, I like that. So I went ahead and tried to model that out for my character. Tried to show like different techniques for creating something that's production ready. This is obviously still single-sided. It has the dynamic thickness to it, but that's great for being able to pre-visualize and make things nice. Gnomon is back in 2009. That's nice. Where is Quentin? I've had to remember to save myself. Ah, what good is that man if he's not going to remind me to? No, just kidding. He's probably out with the girlfriend or something, or at work. I don't know. He works too, I guess. But yeah, so this is kind of one of the things that I played around with last night. And then I went ahead and I added in the vest and added there's like these little trim pieces that I added in that I thought were kind of nice. Although I do kind of want to take this bit here, Control Shift X. Oh man, I didn't realize that was going to make everything visible. Okay, let me see. That should be good. Grab that. That way I can go ahead and grab this piece. I can say, let's grab that color, MRGB. Or let's just say RGB. We'll let it keep whatever color it has there at the moment. So now we have a little bit of separation there. And then here, let's say RGB color fill object. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll keep it for now. There we go. A little bit lower contrast. Makes it a little bit nicer. The other thing that I wanted to kind of play around with this real quick. I know this is like kind of crazy, but like, I mean, here's one of the collars that I had quickly built out to be able to showcase some tricks. I want this to be kind of more of a short collar. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab say insert single edge loop. Let's get rid of any edge loop that doesn't really make sense to have. And then I'm just going to say collapse poly loop, just to be able to kind of bring that down to be more of like this thinner collar. Make sure it lines up with the mesh that it's supposed to be attached to. Okay, so then we have this thing and we can kind of just like bend it out. And then we'll say, let's get color and fill object. Oh, we gotta make sure that's filled all the way to full. But yeah, I don't know. Just ideas, I guess. So let's say kind of like, I like the idea of like a higher collar, but I also like the idea of a lower collar. So it's like these different likes are kind of competing with each other, and it's kind of funny. But yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I like that. I don't know. Lots of stuff to kind of play around with. um, quality of life improvements on ZBrush are so crazy since yeah, absolutely. Do you then stitch the collar on the jacket? I I mean, it'd be nice. I do have the topology there to be able to. Hey, how you doing, P Ghost? I haven't seen you in a while. Um, hey, Yariv. Um, yeah, I do have the topology there to be able to stitch the collar into the jacket. Um, whether or not I actually end up doing that, meh, not sure that I will. But yeah, kind of crazy. We both made ZBrush crash in our demos. That's funny. That's never fun. I mean, it can be funny, but it's never fun. Similar ideas to like what I like to do with my jacket. Like I can go in over here very easily and add in. You know what? I don't know, cause it's like I'm running low on time, and I don't want to. I don't want to run too close to stuff. Too close to the other presenter is what I was trying to say, and then like my brain stopped working. Do something kind of like that, and it just gives me a little bit more of a. Oh no! Stop it! Oh, my mirror and weld is like it was off. Other way. Other way. Let me see. I don't want to ruin what's on the bottom side here because this is. Okay. Because that very obviously got butchered just a little bit because I wasn't careful enough. But yeah, it's not going too bad. It's not going too bad. Alright. That's a little bit nicer. This could be, yeah, this could be a little bit cleaned up in here. Okay, good. I wanted to make sure symmetry was on. Otherwise, I was going to be a bit unhappy. There we go. It's a lot nicer. Just as a whole, it looks much, much nicer. I do want this to have a little bit sharper of corners though, so I'm just going to go ahead and say insert, give it some supporting edges here. And that feels a little bit nicer. If I wanted to, I could also go in over here, and I could say, let's see about adding a little bit of like a. Nah, that's not gonna work for me. That feels really weird. But I could go ahead and say bevel. We could say 2 rows. And then we could go ahead and say inflate. And now it feels like we have like this double paneled collar going around. I don't like it though, so let's not do it. We'll leave it like that. We'll call it good. Oh, so the reference over here, this is actually for the other project that I was working on during the stream. It's one of my food demons. This is Suga. You know, she's a she's like a diner waitress made out of a coffee pot. She's part of my food demon series. So like if you followed the series along at all, I mean here's Flapjack. I finally got his little vest built in there. He's got his little sugar buns down there. um, yeah, it's all just lots of fun. But yeah, in fact, let me go through real quick and say subtool master fill material just to make sure everything is all right enough. I think the thing that was mostly bothering me was the bacon, but yeah, so that's Flapjack. There's Sugar. Let me pull up. Let me pull up some of the different ones that I have. Let's turn on perspective so that we can see things properly. Okay, I'll go ahead and pull that up. We've got Sugar that we were working on earlier. We've got, who else do we have? We have, let's come down here to characters. We've got Flapjack, we got Mystery Meat, which some of you might recognize and remember. He's got his little Tommy gun. We can turn off the Tommy gun for now. So yeah, there's Mystery Meat. Here's Pumpkin Spice. You know what? I've got the pose, and then I've got the. I'll kind of pull out the pose since this is a little bit more. Finished looking. Thanks, Peter. It's been a lot of fun going through and putting these together. I've got salt and pepper. These two are sculpted. Let's put pepper right there, and then we'll change over to salt. They twins. So yeah, salt and pepper. And then Sugar, we have Tsushiyama, which he's a big one. You know what, let's instead of using T-pose, let's see about getting the pose. Oh, he's all chocolatey looking. That is really bizarre. Simple wood oak. That doesn't look like wood at all. Let's turn off the floor plane. I'm curious why he is the colors that he is. That's really, really bizarre. Here, let me try this. Fill materials. There we go. So there's Tsushiyama. And then last one that I have so far is Sweet Tooth. Let's go with Sweet Tooth 3. They're a lot of fun, and I have had so much fun designing them. Wow, that's really big. Why is he purple? I don't want him to be purple. You see. Aw. So I guess he's missing. He's missing all of his color on his body. So let's go ahead and we'll just kind of. Oh, it doesn't want to let me though. Interesting. I have no idea why this isn't wanting to work for me. Oh well. Here, let's see what we can get. Fill material. And then with this, we'll go ahead and we'll say, we'll just add a little bit of this color in until it's until it feels more uniform with everything else over there. So yeah, there's Sweet Tooth. so so yeah, these are the food demons so far, right? I mean, there are 8 of them right now. Control Shift D or Control Shift E. Sorry, shoot. I'm going to say progress 2023-11-11. That's pretty crazy. Today's 11/11, guys. The Food Demon Multiverse. Oh no, it doesn't want to export the. Uh. I have been getting a call from El Segundo repeatedly over the last couple of days. I have no idea who it is. It's just like, meh. Let me see, just kind of zoom out a little bit. I want to make sure that Sweet Tooth is in the frame completely. I want to come over here and let's say export, but we're going to export as a PNG instead. Same thing. Progress 2023-11-11. I'll say A. And then now it's exported. So making an animated movie. I'd like to make a game, like a beat 'em up game, like Street Fighter, but food. Yeah, it's just fun. It's all just for fun. More than anything, these are going to end up being little tabletop toys, you know. So I've got pumpkin spice right here. I have her pumpkin too, but it's over there. um, did I make the 2D references myself? I did. all the designs, everything. It's all my original work. So a lot of fun. And anyway, we're past time now, so I better get off and call it a day. But man, guys, thanks for coming and hanging out with me. I had a blast trying to get this stuff kind of pulled together. And yeah, as always, I mean, keep on keeping on. As my buddy Mel says, yeah, it's gonna go back over into Sugar so that she's the last thing we see. Uh, but yeah, that's where we at with that. We'll have to work on that further next time. But yeah, you had a question? I didn't see it. And just downloaded ZBrush today. Learn to navigate. Just take it easy. Play around. Experiment with the brushes. Get a feel for what they do. You won't use all the brushes. Not all the brushes are going to be worth using. But yeah, that's what I'd say do. So yeah, that's what we got. So yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. And I will see you next time I see you. Cheers.